Well, here we are for stop number 2 of the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. We're here at the Harris Chain. This event's presented by Bad Boy Mowers. We got Mr. Cody Nichols here. You are a rookie this year. You had a good tournament over on Rayburn just a couple of weeks ago. Now we're here in Florida. You've had success in Florida, so I imagine things are going pretty good so far.
Not what I expected to come into down here. I expected to come and be able to catch fish doing anything.
Sure.
Plus bedding fish, but that's not the case for me at all.
Well, first of all, let's rewind a minute and tell me about experience you have on the Harris Chain prior to these practice days this week.
I've been out here one time in the Bass Team Championship. Pretty much only got one day of practice, and then we fished the event, and we just went fishing.
Gotcha.
Did okay the second day, but it was just a cold front.
Sure. So. That was never a fun thing in Florida. Well, and the weather in Florida recently has been a little wonky.
Yes.
They've had some cold fronts. They got warm, then it got cool again, and now it seems like it's kind of been nice for a little bit. From the start of practice till today, have you seen any improvements in terms of just how the whole chain's fishing?
I have not. Pretty much been fishing the same, except for today. Today probably fell off a little bit for me.
Oh, okay.
First 2 days were a little bit better.
Well, the interesting thing about the Harris Chain here is the amount of water a guy can fish, right? So many lakes. For your practice this week, did you try to focus on a handful of lakes, or did you want to sample a little bit of everything?
I kind of went to 4 different lakes, just trying to see like where there's grass and where there's not grass and what it looked like, stuff like that.
Well, fill me in on the grass, because I heard it's not as good as it normally is.
It's not.
Or has been on the Harris Chain. You just not seen it really anywhere?
There's a little bit offshore, but it's very, very sparse.
Interesting.
What there is little clumps like the size of a boat.
Oh,
and some of them
okay.
you can get bit in, and some of them you can't. So.
Interesting. Have you seen any laying around on the bank this week? Like they're
yeah,
getting done spawning, getting ready to spawn? I know we're coming off a moon, so.
Yeah, I think most of them are done. I've seen more the first day and more empty beds today than I've seen the last 2 days for sure.
Interesting.
But still a bunch of males up there.
So what do you think this is going to play out in your mind right now? Do you think this tournament's going to be like you're going to have some post-spawn fish that are set up in some of those clumps of grass, or maybe on some offshore stuff?
Yeah, I think most of the fish will be post-spawn caught for sure.
Interesting. You think we'll see like a Carolina rig? You think we'll see like a chatterbait, maybe a trap, like a lipless crankbait kind of stuff going on this week?
I see more of the Carolina rig deal.
Really?
Playing out, yeah.
Well, you know, last time we were here, we saw a lot of jerk baits, we saw a lot of chatterbaits, and it's kind of been something different every time around. The time before that, we saw a lot of worms getting drugged, you know, classic speed worm, Florida stuff. Yeah. Before I let you roll, I want to know, in your lack of experience here on the Harris Chain, what you think it'll take for maybe a winning weight this week.
I'm gonna say 17, 18 a day, so low 70s.
Low 70s, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I think the first day somebody's gonna catch a big bag, and then that cold front's gonna come in, and it's probably gonna hurt it pretty bad.
You're right, yeah, it'd be like 60s in the highs, whereas today it's like 88 or something like that. I mean, that doesn't sound like a big thing, but here in Florida, that's a pretty big swing. I guess with that, man, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for stopping by. Go get rigged up, enjoy that off day, and we'll see you on Thursday.
All right.
Well, we're rolling right along here for the final day of practice, and we finally found ourselves a Floridian to talk to get things straight here on the Harris Chain. We got Blake Smith joining us. Captain, tell me about it, man, because I've heard some stuff that it's not easy. We haven't spoken with a lot of guys this week, so I need the juice from you.
The juice is, and I'm gonna give you a brief rundown of 3 days.
Please do.
Day 1, I practiced a couple lakes that I'm really comfortable with, shook off a bunch of good fish, and landed a couple good fish that I really wish I could have given back. But it was very spot specific.
Okay.
I couldn't just put the trolling motor down and go fish and catch them. So what I did is day 2, I decided maybe I should try that. Maybe I should try and forego my lake knowledge or the place, because I guide here a lot.
Right.
You know, forego all my normal knowledge of the lake and just go fishing and see if I can figure something out based on the stage of the fish. I had 7 pounds for 4 fish on day 2. So I threw all that away, went back to my lake knowledge today and shook off like 35 or 40 fish. And so the cool thing is these fish are all in different stages.
Okay.
You know, the big wave, I really truly believe, happened a month ago. You know, I had a client catch an 11-11 off of a bed, and
Jeez.
and there were beds on beds on beds on beds. So, you know, the largest push of waves, I do think, probably happened.
Okay.
But this is Florida, so they spawn till May.
Right.
They've started spawning in November, and they go through May, and they like to spawn. You know, they do it all the time whenever the moon phase is right. We don't even have a good moon phase right now until next week as we go into the new moon. So those fish kind of like are in transition. You know, they want to come up, they can't. They know they've got a cold front coming. You know, they're better weathermen than we are. And
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got fish from shallow all the way to deep, and if you know, these guys can pretty much catch them however they want to catch them.
I was going to say that leads exactly into what I was getting at is really for a lot of guys, because we have some faces here that probably haven't spent a lot of time
Right.
in Florida to begin with, let alone on the Harris chain. So we'll see guys this week kind of be able to pick a strength of theirs. If you like fishing offshore, you could probably fish offshore. If
Right.
you want to get on the bank and wind something around, you could do that, like a chatterbait or something like that.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, what the biggest change is, normally when we come to a Florida lake, it's all grass. Well, we know that there's a few of the lakes that have been sprayed so heavily that there's not a lot of grass anymore.
Right.
You know, so those guys that are comfortable with like highland reservoirs or even some of the Arkansas guys and things like that are used to more of a silty bank or just a flat bank where there's not a lot of grass, not a lot of vegetation. They're going to get to do some things maybe that they're comfortable with. Maybe throw those lipless, throw the square bills, throw the things that you would throw, you know, up in Grand Lake or something.
Sure.
Because you know, these lakes are in all different. You know, I say different. We've got very, very grassy lakes, like the one standing behind us, to lakes that have very, very little grass. So you could pick your poison, I guess.
What's your take this week? It seems like in the past times that we've been here, Harris really kind of takes the spotlight, right? I mean, we talk about all this water you can fish here, but Harris is usually where a lot of that stuff goes down. Do you think that'll be different this time around?
I do. I think what has happened this time is we knew that the largest, you know, wad of people fished 2 lakes last time. You know, the one that we're at, or you know, the Harris or Griffin or wherever. This time without the grass, it's kind of causing people to spread out. You know, I'm talking to people that are in Dora or Beauclair, Carlton, trying to run to a Popka, coming to Griffin, all these different things. So, you know, these guys are going to be a lot more spread out than we've ever seen. Which is a good thing.
Absolutely.
But then you're going to get to see some of those guys that didn't get off and do the offshore game, like the McMillans and things like that pick up flipping sticks and be able to dominate a lot more than what we've seen in the past.
All right.
So you know, it's going to be a good game. Either way we look at it, there's going to be a ton of fish caught. It's Florida. You know, I've seen some big ones this week, and I've still got a few that I've looked at that I'm hoping are there in the next couple of days, and we'll see what happens.
That leads me to 2 questions. First, what do you think our big bass of the week will be?
Oh, I think it's going to be somewhere in that 10 to 11 pound range.
Ooh, I like that.
Reason being is because we have a lot of post spawn fish. You know, so the 11-11 that I had a client catch a few weeks ago, well, a month ago, was 11-11 post spawn. So she was hollowed out, and then a few of the fish that I've seen this week are hollowed out too. So, you know, a lot of them are on that recoup or that rebound, and they're trying to find any structure they can. 10 to 11 pounds is a safe assumption because this pond's got them. I mean, they've got some big fish in this lake. But I expect to see a lot of fish in that 7 to 8 pound range. You know, I say a lot. There's going to be a majority of our big fish weighed in will probably be in that range, and then we'll have a few of the 10s, 9s, you know, maybe 11 or 12 pounders as well.
And before I let you go, what about a winning weight for this week?
Oh, winning weight. It's going to be fishy because of the fact that we have weather coming in. We don't know that we might not get a full 4 days. We might only get 3 days. So I'm going to put the winning weight somewhere around 67 to 72 pounds, somewhere in that range, because I feel like if we had 4 days, that we could probably see somebody climb into that 70 to 80 pound range. But I think because of the lack of 1 day, we're probably going to see that drop by 10 or 12 pounds.
All right. Well, there you go. Blake, I'm going to let you get rolling. Thanks for filling us in, man.
Appreciate it, man.
You gave us the juice.
Thanks.